Battlefield 2042 is dying, and it's not a slow bleed that can be stemmed to prolong life. No, they've practically had multiple limbs removed to the point where it resembles the Black Knight from Monty Python, and it's not a pretty sight. Since launch, the game's player base has been falling so consistently that any crypto enthusiast would be screaming bear market so loudly your eardrums would bleed if this were the graph of a popular token. Putting numbers to words by courtesy of Steam charts, which before we go to the comments section saying most people don't play Battlefield on Steam, I'm well aware of that, but Origin don't release their numbers, so this is the best we've got, and I believe it's a fair representation of the whole picture. We can see in the first month of launch, 2042 had a peak player count of around 100,000 and an average of little over 50k, which quickly became the peak of December and the average falling to an embarrassing 20,000. And that 20,000 is worse than you think, given the huge price drop in the game from multiple sellers and a free weekend spike that over doubled the player count for a few days. I personally haven't played the game in about 3 weeks and have zero interest in doing so right now, and I'm sure many of you watching are in a similar situation. And it's not just that no one's playing the game, no one's watching it either. Viewership numbers on Twitch have dropped from an average of around 27k in November, with an incredible peak of 340,000, down to a measly average of 4k in December and a 35k peak. Not good. So we have the proof that it's dying, but can it be saved? My immediate thoughts are fuck no, dead game, GG. But is that necessarily going to be the case? Whether or not you stopped playing because of the lack of content, game-breaking bugs like a downstairs itch you can't get rid of, or just overall shitty map design and gameplay, there's always been a possibility for these things to change. More content could be added, the devs could pay attention to what they're doing and get that bug-fixing ointment you so desperately need, and maps and balance can be tweaked to perfection, but the biggest issue is that hardly any of those things have happened in the 2.5 months the game's been out. Sure, we got some weapon and vehicle balancing, and some of the plaguing issues resolved, but there are still hundreds of things that are yet to be resolved, including the things that are causing people to quit playing, like the atrocious map design that makes playing infantry become a death simulator. The real kicker is the all but confirmed rumours that the first season doesn't start until March, so we're stuck with the same bare minimum of content for as long as the game has been out, again. How can DICE expect anyone not to get bored of this shit until then? So what can DICE do right now to stem the bleeding? What do I think would help right now to generate some hype and at least distract everyone from all the other bullshit in the game? A new map. Well, not new. DICE have proved that they have totally lost the ability to design good maps, and honestly, if they release another one that's just as bad as the ones we currently have, the game may as well fall face first into a grave of its own digging. What they need is to give us a classic, an Operation Locker or Metro, or a Wake Island or Damavand Peak, something that everybody loves and they can't fuck up, and that will generate a huge amount of excitement back into the game while they furiously work behind the scenes on fixing all the other shit. I don't know about you, but if Locker got added to the game, I could quite easily ignore the mountain of issues just to play that clusterfuck shitstorm for hours on end, because I know how much I enjoyed it on Battlefield 4. I think they would also need a lot of media surrounding it too. Get all the big YouTubers and streamers like Jack, Frags, Westy and whoever else on sponsored streams to try and draw in some attention, because right now no one gives a shit about 2042, nor should they, because there's nothing to give a shit about. That's what I've come up with for a saving grace for this game, and you may not necessarily agree with the specifics, but I think it's a universal opinion that if nothing major happens very soon, not even Battlefield 3 defibs can bring this game back to life. So what would you do if not bring back a classic map? Let me know your ideas in the comments section and leave a like if you found this video interesting. Subscribe for more and I'll see you next time. Bye.